Welcome to the first TFT Tech Talk, episode 1. Have you got the right tools for your job? This is a live show. I'm your host, Phil Griffiths. Today we have two co-hosts. First of all, we have Jennifer Griffiths, who is the owner of TFT Tech. How are you doing today, Jennifer?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Secondly, all the way from Ireland, we have Cormac O'Donoghue, who likes to be known as the King of Ireland, and he is from Crosshaven Computers. How are you doing, Cormac?
Oh, it's all good in the hood here in Ireland, man. It's all good. Very good.
That's good. Okay, let's start off with an informal chat about what we've been doing this week, or if you've got any news or tips you would like to talk about. You first, Jennifer.
This week, I've seen a rise in solid-state drives as well as hard drives failing. And each one of these customers had one thing in common. It wasn't backed up. So that means I had to rescue it with one of the tools that I'll be talking about today. So right now would be a great time to be thinking about cloud backup so that you don't end up like these people did.
Okay, that's pretty good. What about yourself, Cormac?
Yeah, I tell you what, where I'm spending most of my time webbing up the walls, but any spare time I've been doing, I've been trying to diversify a bit of the business into kind of Facebook shops. Facebook shops is fairly new, and I want to get in there with Facebook shops and Instagram. We just started selling refurbished computers. For me, the time was right. The price of computers are after going up, 100, 200 quid. The market is there. So I'm trying to get in. You know, I think a Facebook shop will sell more than a lot of websites. So trying to get that right. I was working a lot with Fiverr, actually trying to get designs. I do have a graphic design person planned, but I just wanted to get the thing launched, so playing around with it. So getting videos ready for that and all that. Definitely for anyone out there, have a look at Facebook shops and Instagram shops. It's going to be big. It's going to take some of the business away from websites or point people towards the websites.
Right, yeah, that sounds pretty good, and it's true. I'm going to say I've been using Facebook shops, trying it out, linking it in with my website, and you can actually link your website in with it as well, depending on how you're doing it. So when I list something on my website, it automatically puts it on Facebook shops, so it makes it ideal, because then you've got your sales on the website, and then obviously through Facebook as well.
I think, Phil, what I'm finding at the moment, and you can correct me here if I'm wrong, because I haven't, as I said, it's new. At the moment, I don't think, in Ireland anyway, you can check out on Facebook yet, because I think you have to put in an American bank. That's an issue. So you're right in saying at the moment, I think you have to send it to your website, which unfortunately mine's not e-commerce. That's something we'll get around to as well.
Right, yeah, I'm going to say if they click on the links, it does actually take them straight to our website, so they purchase it from there. But it's good to have the option of showing it and sharing it and so forth on your page and to other places. Right, next up we've got, my story there today is, well, for me, it's more news or lack of news about VIP Computers, who are a UK-based distributor, and what we should all learn from it. If you're unaware of what happened, in basics, their website went down just over 2 weeks ago and staff got sent home. This was then extended till the Monday and then for another week. So basically just over 2 weeks in total, or just under. While from what I know, the staff are back at work now, but the website is still non-functional. Official word from VIP is, well, nothing really official, no press releases as such. Just a few comments from staff saying we're experiencing a system outage due to 2 servers going down, and issues with COVID-19 made it a slow repair. With no explanation of why 2 servers went down at the same time. Due to the vagueness, I've had a large number of messages from people all over, including vendors and other distributors, asking us what's happened. With speculation of ransomware, fire in the server room, and even entering administration. While all these things may not be true, it does not stop people talking about it and putting off new customers, as well as past customers, due to the lack of openness. So what does this teach us? That no matter how big you are, you should have a number of backup solutions, like Jenny said, for example, cloud backup or whatever. You should also have a backup system in place. When I say system, as in another way of doing those jobs. So another way of checking work in or able to pull up databases, whether it's on the cloud and it's synced with your storage in a server room or something like that. And about openness, well, let's put it this way, not being open about what's going on can cause more problems than being upfront about the issue. So in reality, the way they handle this, I don't think it's ideal. They may think it's absolutely perfectly fine, but if it was, people should not be messaging me about it. They should be talking to VIP. VIP should be dealing with this. They should have a basic statement, which, yes, they say they emailed the customers. I only got half of the emails, but basics is they've given a non-technical answer to a very technical group of people. If you get me there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry, Jen, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I could respect someone saying, well, basically we pulled the wrong plug and the server blew up, and being transparent about it than just saying nothing to see here, nothing to see here, you know, moving right along. I would rather them just be blatantly honest and telling me what a real stupid error was made. You know, I could respect that. It's just the lack of transparency that gets me.
Well, that's a good point you brought up. I think it's Cloudflare. I think I was listening to Twit. I think it was Twit last week, and I think Cloudflare. I think it's Cloudflare may have a massive outage, and they held their hands up straight away and went. It was an engineer messed up, and it was to me the way it handled things. Now I don't know what's going on with VIP. I generally don't. But as you said, if there was, if just, you know, come up with some sort of statement properly, then that's it. I wish them all the best, because obviously it's a big problem, whatever came across. So I do wish them the best on it. But yeah, come out, I don't know.
Right, exactly. The last thing we need is a distributor disappearing, because the more distributors, more competition, which means better prices in the long haul. But just the openness would be better. We've seen it from other distributors when they've been down and they've been blatantly honest. Oh yeah, their service provider cut the phone cable or something like that, or whatever, or the new upgrade didn't go through as planned or whatever. And it's just...
Well, I think for us, there's a lesson as well as us techs in the business. You know, we are all going to make mistakes. And again, VIP might not have made mistakes, but I've found the mistakes I have made, that if I come right out to, if I'm in an office, whatever, and say, right, we're after doing a boo-boo here, lads. Everyone's chill out. Might go be an extra hour, but we'll get things up and running, rather than trying to hide the mistake. But they sympathize with you then, you know, up to a point. To a point.
Yeah. That's so true. Right, let's get on to the main topic of the day. So what everyone's come here for. Hopefully we've got a few people watching by now. If not, well, we're just going to talk to ourselves. So, right, basically the topic today is, have you got the right tools for your job? So we're basically going to talk about software more so than hardware. And when I say hardware, I mean like screwdrivers and stuff, but feel free to mention them if you've got a specific hardware you do prefer. So I'll pass the first one over to Cormac. What's your favorite, or what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I've two, but I'll start with one of my favorites, the one I build up the tension here, lads and lassies. One of a tool I use on every single computer is Malwarebytes tool set, not to be confused with Malwarebytes antivirus.
Yes.
I got involved in the beta program, so I've been using it a while. Okay, and I've no affiliation with Malwarebytes. I do have a lot of time for their company and their support, but as I said, no affiliation. But one of the reasons I use Malwarebytes toolset, and I'll call it Malwarebytes now after that because it's too long words, is basically it makes me money. Simply, it makes me money. Now, what Malwarebytes toolset is, it's a USB. It's not a bootable USB. You use it in a live environment. I suppose that's the word, you know. I have a couple of notes there made. It's a portable tool set. It has 20 tools in it. which you can use. One of them, the first ones is it scans it for malware. There's adware cleaner, AW cleaner, which I think we're all familiar with. I love its anti-bundleware tool, which gets rid of all the junk. But initially, when I put in any computer that comes in, the very first two things I do is Malwarebytes and Fabs. I think someone's going to talk about Fabs afterwards, okay? First of all, I will scan. It has a built-in tool for scanning. It also has a network scanner, but it will scan for issues. Now, it will tell you if the hard drives are damaged or if there's errors or what's going on with them. That, to me, is vital for the very first thing, because from a business point of view, there's an opportunity of an upsell there. The upsell is, right, your hard drive is not great. It's time to an SSD right off the bat. There, I know that within a couple of minutes. It'll give me all the system information about what's in the computer, even how old the computer is, in a sense. It'll tell me how much RAM. It'll tell me, just basically give me everything that I need to know about the computer. So I'll run this scan, see what's going on, use that, back it up, and then tackle whatever I need to. Now, where I find it very handy as well is going on site, because when you're on site, you don't want to be on site all day. You don't want to be in a particular job all day. Yes, you can argue you're doing billable hours. I don't. These are some of my customers are managed service customers. I want to be in and out. I remember I got a call from one of them. Their sharing was down. I went in, ran that tool, and it detected there was an issue with the sharing, and it can fix issues. Now, to this day, I still don't know what the issue was. I just fixed it. The staff went, "Oh, you're some genius." I said, "I am." Good luck with one at that. But I was out, and because that was a managed service client that I just needed to get done to get to the next job, which was giving me a call out fee. So it's very, very, very powerful tool. It will streamline your repair process. And reading here what I wrote down, gather deep technical information in seconds, and remediate malware and solve technical issues quickly. I also may need to get glasses. I just discovered that. I don't know if Malwarebytes are doing them just yet.
Mm-hmm. You're right, though, about Malwarebytes. I use that too, and that's a very good tool. And it's also my first tool that I run on a system. Mm-hmm. And it will tell me, even if the system needs an update.
Yeah.
It tells you that. And it lets you, everything you need to know about the system, like you said, RAM, which version of Windows it has, is all displayed there for you.
Boot history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I'll tell you what, let me put a screen share on so people can actually see what it looks like in person. So let's see if this works. First of all, so there we go. So if I share that, hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So for
people, gig of RAM you have in your computer.
Yeah.
Just wanted to show that off, man.
This is our video editing machine. So not using Premiere Pro uses a hell of a lot of memory, especially when doing our graphs and stuff we use in the video reviews and stuff. But yeah, so as you can see, it tells you the version of Windows, which version you're running of it. So 1909, when it was activated. You've got issues or not in your device manager. You can click on that. It'll show you. It tells you when there's updates. For example, I've got an update available here, which I haven't done yet. Tells you your motherboards, memory, everything from your screens. You can scroll down and see all the different drives. Yeah, I've got a few different drives in there as well. So that's
NASA.
What was that? Sorry, Cormac?
Like NASA there you've got going over there, man. And show them history there. So you can see the boot history and stuff.
Yeah, so the history there, you've got boot history, so you can see how long it takes. So one unexpected shutdown in the last month. I think that's when we had a lightning storm the other day. I just pulled the plug without checking I've turned it off. You've got system events and so forth. Obviously, I know everything what's going on with this machine, but obviously it will tell you what you need to do. You've got network options on there as well, so you can see how you're connected and what connections you're using and so forth. Security, user account control, even applications, and that's just on the information tab before you even get on the scan. Then you can go on to scan. You can scan for malware, or you can scan for issues. That'll pick up stuff like as you were mentioning, hard drive smart errors, even services not working and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, malware scanner or portable scanner scans for malware. That's pretty obvious. It's a bit like the tool you'd normally get if you just downloaded the standalone malware removal tool. You've got toolbox as well. You can add extra programs in there if you wanted. You can do updates. There's all sorts in there from anti-bundleware. So if you're buying new laptops in and you want to get rid of all the rubbish what comes with them, like the ASUS power management programs and all the free bits of rubbish what no one ever uses and trial stuff, you can basically run the anti-bundleware and it'll remove all that for you. Obviously, it gives you an option what you want to remove. You've got adware cleaner, rootkits. You've pretty much got everything you can pretty much think of. A lot of the stuff, this under the repair, you can run through Windows anyway, but it's a quick shortcut to it. You've even got a shortcut to Fabs. If you've got Fabs, we'll talk a bit about that in a few minutes, I think. And then you've got OS tools as well. So again, command prompts, device manager, disk partition. So you've basically got pretty much most tools you'll ever need. Well, not every tool you'll ever need, but for diagnostics and just basic cleanup. So it's pretty good program. Let me just take screen share back off now. Here we go.
And the key thing about what I love about it, as you said, a lot of those programs are in there. You can have them, whatever. It's just you have everything in one place, and it's just the speed of it. Off you go. You know,
even if you don't have it in one place, you can add it in there to put it in one place.
It's nice and neat and compact. You have everything at your fingertips that you need. You don't have to switch USB pins to find this tool because it's all nice and tidy in that one tool. You just press another tab and go to it. The anti-bundleware, oh, it saves me so much time instead of going into the control panel and faffing about and restart and uninstall this one. Just run that too.
Want to make a cup of coffee and come back. Or don't even have time to make a cup of coffee sometimes.
I know.
Work on another computer while you're doing it, you know?
Yeah, it is a great time saver.
Right, let's move on to the next one. So let's go to Jen. So Jennifer, what's your tool tip or best tool or favorite tool to use other than obviously what we've mentioned?
Well, that's a good tool for what it's designed for, but my favorite to use when the chips are down is Fabs backup.
Whoa.
Yep. When I have a customer that's had a failed drive come through, the first thing I do is go and take the hard drive or SSD out, put it in a caddy, and run Fabs on it and see if I can back it up. If you can back it up, you should do it with Fabs, and here's why. Not only will it back it up accurately and tell you the amount of storage that you're gonna need to put it on, it gives you a list of software at the end that you need to put back onto the machine once you put in a new drive. So if someone has, let's say, an HP printer, it also has the printers list. Any printer that's installed, it'll give you a list at the end, and any software, like say they come through here and say, oh, I had Microsoft Office on there. And you say, don't remember that. You pull up that software list, and if it's not on there, they didn't have it. So it's a good way for techs not to be pulled the wool over their eyes that the customer has lost something because of that.
It's pretty good. One thing not to forget, it's not a recovery tool, it's more of a backup or whatever, isn't it?
So
you can actually run it on that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it does recover, and you can do a backup just to keep. Just go through your computer one day and say, you know, I really do need to make a backup of it. You can do a Fabs backup. You don't have to just, you know, back it up and send it back over. Just make a backup record of it. And
the beauty about it is that literally, you can do sometimes if you do a clean install and you nearly have to tell the customer you've done a clean install because everything's back in its place. Like,
Yeah.
Personally, this is what I feel about Fabs. This is generally what I feel. I believe that every tech in the world should go out and help build a statue of Fabrice. He is
I do.
absolute. He's after making us money like any computer, any. And if our competitors aren't using Fabs, then he's making us money as well because we're just looking more professional right across the thing. You email the guy, he'll get in contact straight away. His tool just works. Just works. It saves us so much time, and that's why I'm launching Let's Build a Statue to Fabrice campaign.
Yes. He is an amazing guy. He's very easy to work with.
Yeah.
If you have a question about the tool or an issue with the tool, you can just, contact him and he's straight on it. I mean,
he's integrated with Malwarebytes tool set as well nowadays.
And not only that, the price of it as well is that stupidly priced. I'm no offense to him, but he should charge more. But
he should, like, Jesus.
Yeah, there's another question, but I can't remember the exact price, but it's something silly like 50 quid or something.
I think I paid 75 or 100 quid for a 3-year license. And that's just.
You can even buy a 1-year license or whatever, and if you don't want to update it after the first year, you can still carry on using it, and then you can update it a bit later if you wanted to. So if you haven't got the readies available, hopefully you'll have 50 quid or whatever to renew it. But yeah, it's a pretty good program, I must admit.
Literally the last day, it took off something like 465 gigs and put it back on straight away. And there was a reason why I didn't just pull the hard drive out and just transfer it in one go, because it can transfer from the hard drive to the computer itself, so you can cut out the middle bit of it. Someone explain that in a better tech way than me, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. Let me just run. I've got that on screen share as well. Believe it or not, I'm prepared today. So
you are.
Look, I should have Fabs. I think I actually need to update my version actually by the looks of it. But let me share the screen again. Let me know if that's coming through.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so we've got Fabs Auto Backup, and as Cormac says, and the reason it's called Fabs Auto Backup is because the guy who makes it is called Fabrice. I used to think it was called Fabs Auto Backup because it was fabulous or something along that lines, but his actual name is Fabrice. If I remember right, he's from France. With a name like that, it probably is as well. So, right, so basically you can run this program on the machine you're wanting to back up from. So let's just say you wanted to back up all the user information on this PC. You just go to backup. You can select it, but it usually auto-selects your users on there. So if you've got multiple users, you can say, I just want to back up Phil, or if there's Jen on there, or guest, or whatever, you can back them up. You can change the location you want to back it up to. So you can back it up over a network if you've got it set up. You can back it up onto an external hard drive or SSD or even another drive inside the machine. You can then go on to next. You can choose all the different things you want to back up. It automatically selects the most common things and things that are installed. Even Internet Explorer favorites, if anyone still uses those. From Firefox, you've got all your Outlook profiles, Mozilla Thunderbird, sorry, Skype, you name it, Picasa even, network places, OneDrive, you've got public data in there as well, extra files you can add in, and there is even optional items as well you can do. So you can exclude stuff. It's really good, to be honest, and then it'll just back it all up and give you a report at the end to say that it's done. But you can even run it on let's just say another machine. Like Jen said, you could take the drive out of let's say a laptop what's not working. So take the hard drive out, let's say the hard drive does work, and you plug it into a caddy or a docking station into another PC or however you're going to do it. And then you can back it up from there. You just basically choose the main folder, which it usually does once it finds a drive you want to back up from, and then it'll back it up. And then you just go on the other machine you want to put it on, plug your drive in and press restore, find the file where you saved it, and it puts everything back on. Bear in mind, it only puts the data on, not the programs. So you will have to reinstall stuff like Microsoft Office, for example, if you're still using Picasa and different things like that, you will have to put those back on. But yeah, it's an amazing program.
It's a time-saving tool as well, because back in the days when you had to copy and paste a user profile, it would take forever. And if it was interrupted for some reason, you had to start all over again. But with Fabs, if it's interrupted, okay, you may have to go back and set it back up, but it'll carry on. And it's just a really neat tool.
And Phil brought up a very, very good point there about Microsoft Office. It will take the PSD files and all that, and you install whatever. I install Office first, then I put it back on. You just go into Control Panel, into Mail Settings, and put in that user's password, and presto, it's there. That's just, like, seriously, that's just fantastic. Like, you know?
Yeah, the amount of time that saves you going having to back up Outlook, copy the favorites.
Well, I will give a tip there. I use something, I think SIW, I think password checker, because the customer will probably give you the wrong password. So I'll go in, get the password that's meant to be going into Outlook, so you can just go wham bam, off you go. Happy days.
Yeah, it's a brilliant program. Right, I think we need to move on, otherwise we're going to limit ourselves to products. So what we're going to talk about next, I'll do this one, is Scan Circle. Now, Scan Circle is not an actual program I've used too much myself, but its advantages is amazing. And the reason I haven't used it much myself is the way our business is set up these days. But I have got it set up on the website as a shortcut. But in basics, what it does, it basically allows your customers to click a link, either in an email on your website, and it does a quick health check of the computer. And then it'll basically give them a report and say, oh, your computer's got so many stars and it's missing this, missing that. But it'll also email you, the technician, the information, and the customer can click, oh, can I get this fixed? Or is there any way I can get this sorted? And then basically it fills their information in and so forth. So you can easily get, for a small cost, again, it's not very expensive, an easy way to actually quickly diagnose one or two issues with a customer's computer before they even bring it in. So like driver issues, it's missing drivers or whatever. Have you used that one yet, Cormac? Or
I heard of it. And I'd be interested to see how they would use it in the wild. It's an open to the debate. Would people download it from your site? If they do, then it's a money maker for you, you know?
I think it's more for, you could send out like an email to all your customers and say like once every year, oh, do a check of your computer, see if it's running all right, and then it gives you a score. And then if it's
going to look into it anyway, definitely look into that.
That's a good one. I'll do a really quick screen share of that one just to show you. We've got it on our website, but it's not fully implemented because, again, for the way our business is running at the moment, it wouldn't 100% fit what we need. But if you're break fix shop, or even some MSPs, I suppose it'd work as for as well. But a lot of our stuff we're using RRM programs, so with remote management and so forth, and watching it anyway, so we don't need to. But let me just put the screen share up, and let me get that back up. So if I go to, where are we? So if I go to,
if you're doing a service on someone's computer,
mm-hmm.
you could run your Scan Circle first and get a score.
Yeah.
And then you could do the service and see how much you've improved it and show your customer at the end of the day, the before and after. And then it lets them know how important it is to get a service done. And they're more inclined to come back because they've seen firsthand the before and after.
That's it. So let me get the share on. So you should be able to see my screen. This is our website at the moment. I'll skip past that. You'll probably recognize these two people here.
Oh, go away.
So at the bottom, we've just got basically direct scan setup, but you can create a better icon or whatever. But you click that and it pops up saying, do you want to download basically the file? It's just a mini exe file, which basically checks to see what's on your machine. It doesn't actually install anything on the machine, or at least so I'm told, unless anything's changed. And then it will brought it up on another on a page, but then it will bring up a page like this. So you can see basically it gives you a scan score at the top, so 5.3. You've got date times. It's saying all operating system issues, so you can click on that, and it's basically saying, as we found out for Malwarebytes, I have got a couple of updates what need going through. It's got user with a network on there, user account control. That's because I've got user account control turned off, so it don't keep popping up while I'm doing this Zoom chat. You got driver updates, so it's telling me I've got 12 update for drivers. Obviously, drivers, I'm one of these people who updates them when needed rather than updating them all the time, because usually when you update them, you can have sometimes more issues than not. But again, if it's security related, I will update it. Software stuff what's no longer supported and stuff like that. So it gives you a rough idea of how the machine is before you actually work on it. And then you can actually set up this bit in the middle that says need help with this scan. You can click that button and then it'll take you to your website. For example, it just takes us back to our website. But you can set that up however you want. You could have a special page it goes to or something like that. So which comes up with contact us now or email us or whatever you want. You can even have a little video playing there if you wanted and so forth. So I think it's got great potential if used correctly.
What price is it?
Let me check that on the other screen. Let me just stop the screen share. Scan Circle. It wasn't expensive, I know that. And I think, if I'm right, we've got discounts in the TFT discount page. So if you are a Tech for Tech member, you can do it there. Let's have a look. Request support, partner program. Standard subscription it's basically €50 for 3 months.
Okay, all right.
So obviously, depending on how you work it out, you probably find it's a bit cheaper, probably if you have a full year's worth or whatever, I don't know. But there is a 30-day trial on there. So it's worth giving it a go and see if people are interested in it.
A lot of the tools we'll be talking about today will have discounts on the TFT page if you're a member of that. So you might want to check that out.
If you are not a Tech for Tech member and you're watching this and you are a tech and you're interested in computer repairs and stuff like that, you want to get your business started, you want advice, more people to talk to. At the moment, we've got over 950 members and it's free to join. So, but again, this is only for people who have got businesses or starting up a business in the tech industry. And if you want to join up, just go to www.techfortex.co.uk. I'll put links in the description once the video's done, and there'll be a section at the top that says join. Just click join and it'll link you through where to join up. Also, if you're a distributor or a vendor, feel free to join. We'd love to have you as well. Yeah, we've got vendors and distributors from all over the UK. Some of them, one of them we've already mentioned is VIP. We've got Target, we've got CMS. We've also got members from Spire in there, and we've got other vendors from Cooler Master, Gigabyte. God, there's lots of them. A lot of these tools, what we've mentioned, Fabs is in there, or Fabrice, should I say. Eurosoft as well. Yeah, basically all these things we're mentioning, they're all generally members of the group because they all want to interact with you as well. And again, the group's free. So I think we're friendly. Sorry?
Free and friendly.
Free, yeah, exactly. We don't charge you for being a member. You don't have to be a millionaire like some of the groups out there. It's basically for anyone. So a sole trader all the way up to a international distributor, as long as you're based in the UK or trade in the UK. Okay, so let's have a look. What else we've got to talk about? Anyone for anything else? I think you've got another one.
You were going to talk about your PC checker. You want to talk about PC check? You want to do that?
That's fine. Okay. Oh, basically, PC check is a great diagnostics tool, and I say that hands down, it is great. When you can't go into Windows and do your diagnostics that way, I use the UEFI version, and I boot to my memory stick that has the program on it, and it brings up a menu, and it lets me, I can select the whole machine to be scanned for errors, or if I think this is a hard drive issue, I can select the hard drive, and it will scan just the hard drive and do a series of tests on it. I can pick and choose which one of the hard drive tests I want to do first, and it will tell me, if it's the hard drive or not. I can run a scripted thing that does a scan of the whole computer. And it is great. It is absolutely great that it does not have to be in a Windows environment, because 99% of the ones that come through my door that need diagnostics, you can't get into Windows. And that's a trip up for any of the Windows-based ones. So they've definitely got the margin on the UEFI version. Now, they do make a Windows-based version, and it looks a little bit different, but I have not used that a lot due to the fact that most of my customers, you can't get into Windows to begin with. And it is very accurate. I have not replaced a part using it that I did not need to. It takes out the guesswork. You think you've got a failing graphics card, and you go through the hassle of going and finding a spare one in the shop, only to find out it wasn't that. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do the guesswork. It does the test with accuracy for you.
Yeah, it's a pretty good program. You've got there's the free versions, the plain PC check, and again the company's called Eurosoft, which is more designed for your older machines, which haven't got a UEFI BIOS. So the old-fashioned BIOSes, which look like old teletext channel on TV, or CFAX or whatever you were used to back then. They've got the newer version, which is a UEFI version, which, if I'm right, actually comes with the older version as well. So if you get the newer version, you get the older version with it on the same pen. So you plug that pen in your machine, boot from it. If the machine has got a UEFI BIOS or it's set up right, it will boot into that. So that's pretty good. The Windows one you can run within Windows, and you can run it on boot as well. I've got it actually on my machine as well. So again, prepared. It makes a change for me. But basics is it lets you check the hardware of your machine. So it's good for, basically we run it on pretty much every machine when we've finished doing what we're doing, just to check to make sure there's no issues with it, especially if we built a new machine. Anything along that lines, give it a good stress test, 24, 48 hours, whatever, or if you only want to give it a few hours, you can do, but stress everything through. And if there's going to be a problem, you'd rather know before the customer takes it home, and this will generally let you know, because it's basically going to work that machine as well as it possibly can. And let me get my screen share up and just show you.
It saves lots of money as well. You don't have to buy in parts to test with. It goes down to motherboard issues, CPU issues, memory issues. I mean, anything that you can throw at it, it will test it. The graphics card, everything. Most of the time when a gamer comes in and their machine is crashing, first thing I do is I run that on it.
Can I ask a question? And I'm conscious of the time here, because I'm asking, because I'm on the fence about buying it all along, yeah? I've stopped, right? I've got out of, I don't want to do gaming machines. I don't have the parts to test them. I don't need the business on that side. Is like for me, if a machine comes in that thin, I can boot into Linux. I can check my way that way. Is this primarily for people with gaming machines, or should I just take the plunge?
No, this is for any machine. This could be a home and office machine. It could be anything that you have set up. Basically, if it's got a drive in it and a motherboard and some memory, it's game. It's from your grandfather's computer to the one that you've got in the office, someone that you go on site. It's great to have there because you're not going to carry around with you a second motherboard and processor, and you may have a stick or two of memory, you know. But this is something that's really worth having.
And they're selling it to me anyway.
Wow. It's a good program, must admit. It's one of our three most used programs: Eurosoft, Fabs, and Malwarebytes. They're the top three repair tools or software I must admit we do use when we're doing stuff like that. Let me put the screen share on just to do a quick brief show of it. This is going to be the Windows version of it, okay? And I've got it booted in obviously Windows because that's where I am at the moment. My favorite one is the UFI version. It allows, I'd say, a bit more testing, but again, this does give you a lot of different things. So when you first load it up, it looks like this: PC check Windows. You can see all your system components on there, memory modules. So yeah, you can see the memory, how many drives you've got, and all your different information, serial numbers, and all that. Most of that you're probably not interested in. You've got diagnostic tools on there. Just click on it. It can be a bit slow sometimes coming on with those, so just bear with it. But basically you can select each individual part or individual drive and so forth to actually do what you're wanting it to do. And typical, while we're doing a live show, oh, here we go. So it's probably because I've had it sitting here running for about 2 hours, just sitting and doing nothing. But you can also check your system health indicators on here as well. So it'll tell you your RAM usage, CPU usage, and stuff like that. So you can see there how much RAM I'm using and so forth. CPU temperature, so I'm running at 59 degrees at the moment. GPU temperature, so you can monitor things like when you're testing it to see if it's overheating and stuff like that, and you can see utilization and everything you basically need to use on there. We go back to the home page again, so let's see if the diagnostic tools will kick in this time. I'm not sure why it's not deciding to, unless I've got it on a different tab. Not today. I'll relaunch it in a minute. But you've also got a few other tools on there, reliability monitor. But a lot of this is all your stuff you got in Windows, a bit like you've got Malwarebytes under the Windows tab. Let me just relaunch the program just to see if that will get it. But again, we usually use it booting up in more honesty. It's not the best test for it, with it not deciding to run at the moment. But
to be fair, we're live, these things happen. They don't meant
yeah, it does, don't
more
it?
entertaining for people to watch, you know.
Never had an issue with it in the past, and just then you get it where it just doesn't want to go. They're probably watching this, the guys at Eurosoft now, going, "Oh my God, this is not the best advert for our software."
I was going to say that. Yeah.
You're after convincing it me. So guys from Eurosoft, reach out and send goodies.
Yeah, yes. the guys at Eurosoft, they're really good. If you have any questions, they're very quick to answer.
Yeah. Just loading it back up, see if it kicks in.
It does actually sound good. Definitely something I'm going to have to get.
Yeah, it is a good one. They do a bundle where they get all the software together, and it comes with I forget the name of it. It's one what you destroy the disks with and stuff like that. So it does like zero writes or military grade wipes on them and stuff like that. So it doesn't help that I'm running 100 different things on this machine. So let's see if it's going to do the diagnostic tool this time. It's probably something I'm running it's not liking more so than an issue with the program, but
guys at Eurosoft are just sitting there cringing right now.
Yeah, they're probably cringing. But trust me, guys, it does normally work, and it was when I tried it earlier on. So it's probably something to do with the live chat or the program.
Let the Irish guy do it, lad.
Yeah, it's the Irish look probably. So, right, do you guys have any other tools you want to talk about before we finish? Because there are a few other things I've got on the list, but I didn't know if there was anything you want to talk about.
I don't know. I'm watching time with you there, so it's up to you, you know.
So, let's have a look. A common one, let's just do a quick run through this one. UVK, have you ever used UVK before?
I don't. You would have to sell me that, because why I look at that and I'm kind of going, but I'm using Malwarebytes toolset. What am I going near that for?
Yeah,
Why?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
UVK is a very common one. There's two versions, a free version and a paid-for version. And it is very similar to Malwarebytes in a lot of cases. There's a lot of tools in it. They're always adding new tools. But what I find the only issue with UVK, what I've found, is even if you pay for the UVK program, a lot of the tools on there are third-party tools from other vendors, like the free version of Malwarebytes and so forth. So, which really they shouldn't be probably using those in the first place, to be honest, because for you using Malwarebytes, even if you're using the free version, you shouldn't be using the free version if you're using it for commercial use. So UVK has its tools and it can be handy. It's got lots of little gadgets and stuff. I won't go too far into it, but some people like it, love it. They're not bothered about the consequences that they're using some of the tools within it against some of the rules and regulations, to be honest with you. We do have it, but I must admit we don't use it a lot. It's very rare. Sometimes it's a secondary thing for checking to see if you've got any viruses or malware, just in case Malwarebytes doesn't pick something up, which is extremely rare in all honesty. You just have these issues, what you just can't fix, you can't find. There may be a solution within that. But a lot of it is a combination of lots of tools in one. So it's like more of a Swiss Army knife of tools, is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, I tried it. It's not for me.
Yeah, so some people like, some people don't. Some people will swear by it, some people will cringe at it. So, but I think
I wouldn't say I cringe at it. I don't. I would just say that preferably Malwarebytes Tech Bench.
Yeah.
That's the one for me.
That's for me as well, to be honest. I must admit I prefer that one out of the two. And last but not least, let's just do another screen share. One of the biggest selling tools we use, and if you're in the UK, this can be very advantageous, and we'll not let it go on too long. Let's just show it, and that'll be the last one again. So you should see my screen again. You're on our website yet again. We've got linked at the bottom a PC builder, and this is using or through Target Components. So if you're not familiar with Target Components, they're a UK distributor. And this tool is pretty much, well, it's amazing. Does have one or two little bugs now and again, but they usually fix it when you usually mention it to them. So it's not usually a problem, but it lets you build a PC from scratch. So if you want to build a PC, you're not sure what parts to go together, or want to save time, you can let the customer actually do it. Bear in mind, it is the in-store PC builder, so it's designed to use in your store rather than use as a selling tool on your website. So, for example, if someone wanted to choose a CPU, let's just say, let's just go for an i9, okay? You click the i9, and then it'll basically choose and show you which motherboards that will fit with what they've got in stock. Bear in mind, the only stock you'll have is what stock Target Components has in stock. But as you can see, they've got many different motherboards on there. They've got a huge choice. So let's just say we want to, let's just say a mid-range-ish motherboard, Z390. Then it'll tell you what coolers will fit that. You can start at any point. You don't have to start with a CPU. You can start with a memory, and then it'll tell you what fits with that memory. It's pretty good. And then it'll tell you what memory will fit with it. You can just, well, I don't see why someone would want 4 GB of RAM with an i9 processor, but you never know. And you could choose 4 of them. You can choose your hard drives. Again, it'll only let you choose M.2s, NVMEs, if that board will fit it. And then it'll basically, again, same with optical drives. You can add those in, but it'll only show you cases then which will fit optical drives, power supplies, graphics cards, all the way through. Basically, most of the stuff in this top section here all works together. The bits at the bottom are usually optional things like software. Obviously, you should be using Windows, monitors, mice, and so forth. But if you are getting a monitor, do make sure it's got the right connection for the graphics card, because it doesn't work that bit out. But otherwise, it's a pretty good. But you can go in the back end of the program and set your own margins. So if you want a build charge of £80 for building a computer. You can say that the standard build charge is £80, and then you can add a percentage on top, or you could just make a flat percentage on top of everything. So every build you make 30% profit. Or you can individually set the price for each item or category. So you could put 100% profit on DVD drives and a 10% profit on CPUs and stuff like that. So I find it a brilliant selling tool. It makes it easy doing builds if you do, even low end or gaming, because it takes the effort out having to look, right, which processor's compatible, which motherboard, which memory is it going to take? Is it going to fit in this case? Am I going to need a right power supply? Does all that for you. You don't have to worry about. You can put it in front of the customer, and they can click away to the heart consent, and basically choose what they wanted. And then it's a good upselling tool, because then they can have a look and go, oh, that i7 processor is 300 quid. For an extra 50 quid, I can upgrade to the overclockable version or whatever, all within that tool. So it's ideal if you have got a store, or you could use it. I do when going to people's houses as well.
I build with it all the time. The people that come through the store, they want a new computer, and they'll look around and they'll see my reconditioned computers or mine that I already have built up that are new, but they always want to know, a little more. And I'd say, well, come over here to my builder, and I'll pull it up on the screen, and I'll ask them a few questions about what they're going to be using the computer for, etc. And I just let them interact with it. And they feel like they're part of building that bespoke machine because they were there picking the parts to go in it. They even got to pick their case. And some people don't want one with a side that you can see into. Some don't want any flashing lights. Some want a quiet case. And it's all there for you, listed, plain English,
and
for
they'll
you
even
to see. And you can direct the customer to what is best for their needs.
Exactly, and they'll even build it for you if you wanted them to build it, or they'll just ship you the parts. And let's just say you've got your own graphics card, you don't need to add the graphics card on there, they'll ship it to you. Right, I think we've probably done with most of the tools today. I don't want to keep it too long. We're a little bit over what we wanted to do in the first place, but I think we've been having so much fun. Is there anything anyone wants to say before we finish off?
Yeah, the Irish guy, because I haven't spoken enough already.
Oh dear.
They're very good. Will he ever shut up? And more importantly, what the hell is he saying with his accent? Very sexy accent, may I add, but still. I'm going to give a shout out here for a couple of people. One, my tech, Steve, is going to be watching this, I would imagine, maybe. I couldn't build business without Steve. Love Steve. Steve's a brilliant. I also have to give a shout out to Alison Cook. You just have to say it to Alison.
Yes.
Speed of data. You have to say, hi, Al. She's brilliant. I send all my data to her. And Matthew there, the king of Linux in the group. Sweet Jesus, Matthew. Helps us out all the time. And that just rounds me up to say thank you to the two of you. And sorry for putting you on the spot now. But you setting up this group has been a game changer for me and other techs out there, for all of us. We have all made money out of you setting up that group, It's amazing how powerful that group has become. I was in here one day with actually my tech Steve or something. Something happened with AVG and it built it. You booted back into AVG when you're trying to remove this. And I said, Steve, this is not a problem. I said, we'll post this question in the group, I post question, I think Phil, and I think Alex Smith actually from Malwarebytes answered back straight away. I've been out at site and I'm stuck and I'm on my own, and I can post a question. And this group, even this podcast, didn't just appear. He put in loads of hard work, and I know now he will probably expect me to take piss somehow, but no, seriously, it helps me feed my chickens back here in Ireland. And seriously, a big, sincere thank you, and I'm sure all the other people in the group will agree with me. So thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. But basically, what we want out of Tech for Techs, and it's always been the case, is for everyone to work together, from the small techs, if you're a new business, experienced, you've got 15 years experience, if you're just getting into the trade, and let's just say you're an elderly person and you're getting in, well, say elderly, but older person in your 50s, 60s, you may not know all about the tools and tech, what to get into. And there's lots of people of different ages, groups and so forth wanting to join up. And we are not limited to techs built in who do repairs. We've got MSPs, and we've also got vendors and distributors, which is one of the big things about the group, is that these vendors and distributors most of the time will work with you. Obviously odd cases, like we mentioned with VIP earlier, a little bit quiet on a few things, but generally they'll work with you and help you, because obviously they want your trade in the end. So they'll actually want to help you more so than you probably experience, because it's an easy way for them to meet new customers, and it's an easy way for you to be able to get support and help with their products. And that goes for if it's software or hardware.
Yes, and a lot of our members ask questions. Where can I get this, that, and the other? And that's when your distributors come up and go, here, I've got it here. I've got that solid state drive. I have that keyboard. I have that case. Call me. And they'll send you a private message over with their details and everything, and you can work together on getting what you need. There's also helping each other. You can bounce ideas off of each other in the group. Just like Carmack said, if you're stuck, and you put that question up there, I guarantee you in less than 15 minutes, someone will reply. If it's nothing but, oh, I had that yesterday and I'm still trying to figure it out. And then they may come back a few minutes later, solved it, and presto, you've got your answer.
That's it. One thing I'd like to mention before we go, I know a few of you have asked questions, but it's hard to keep track of the questions as well as talking. We've run out of time today, but if it's anything we can answer the next time we do a show, we will do. If not, we'll link in people or answer the questions in the chat afterwards for you. Okay. So unless anyone else has got anything to say, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your large companies for supporting smaller independent retailers. And thank you for working together. See you next time.
See you next time.
That's if it wants to end.
Oh, we're not ended yet.